Svinavadhitamastu mavid Vishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Katha Upanishad 2:3-2. All this universe that there is emerges and moves because there is a supreme Brahman, which is like a great terror, like an uplifted thunderbolt. Those who know this become immortal. Yadidam kincha jagat sarvam prana ejati nishritam mahadbhayam vajramaudyam ya etar viduramritaste bhavanti. Yat idam, here, whatever is here, this, whatever this you find in this world, in this idam jagat, all this has been projected from Brahman, from the Supreme Brahman. And what's that Supreme Brahman like? Mahadbhayam, the great terror, great fear, like an uplifted thunderbolt, Vajramudditam. Those who know this attain immortality. What's that? Immortality again? Now, there are two levels on which this verse can be explained. One is, the commentator Shankaracharya is very clear when he talks about this tree of the world that we have seen with its roots up and everything branching down below. This whole world is that huge tree of Brahman. Whatever is there, not only this world is a kind of a small kind of existence, but all the worlds combined, everything, whatever is existent is that tree. And the root of that tree, as we have seen, Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma, that is pure, that is Brahman, that is immortal. And those who know that become free. So, according to that context, this verse is interpreted likewise. In one place, Swami Vivekananda also speaks about this verse in one of his lectures called the Vedanta. We'll discuss that a little also. But here it is, all this universe that there is emerges and moves because there is a Supreme Brahman, obviously. But now here there's a catch, which is like a great terror, like an uplifted thunderbolt. You know, we have in Greek mythology the god Zeus with a thunderbolt. In Indian mythology we have Indra, the king of the gods. He also has a thunderbolt. Okay. And Sister Nivedita wanted, when she was designing the national flag of India, she wanted a thunderbolt to be there, part of that. Then, of course, it was not accepted. And what was accepted later on was the wheel of dharma. That was a symbol of not only Buddhism but of the emperor called Ashoka. He is considered one of the greatest emperors in the world, the most enlightened. So, anyway, so here it is. This like a great thunderbolt. You know what?
What is a thunderbolt actually?
Lightning bolt.
Lightning bolt.
Yeah, you can take it like a thunderbolt. Yeah, uplifted
And
thunderbolt.
lightning.
Yeah, somebody has to uplift it. It's a metaphor. It's a figure of speech.
I see.
Yeah. Now, the first line is all this universe, whatever there is, emerges and moves because of that Supreme Brahman. Now, there are two technical words here. One is Nishritam. That's the last word there in that. It means projected actually. Emerges. You know, this whole universe, there is no creation in Indian metaphysics. So what creation? What's creation? You create something out of nothing or something like that? No, nothing. We don't believe in. So it's projection. So whenever people have been translating like srishti, projection as creation, for people to kind of understand it. No, they don't know the concept of this. So this projection, this whole universe is projected and it's withdrawn inside, again projected. Why? And from where is it projected? Like a spider projects a web out of itself and withdraws it, so is this universe projected out from that Supreme Brahman. This is the idea. Okay. So after projecting, this it is okay. It's nishritam. Shri is to move, to emerge out, to project. Then what happens? The whole thing moves. It's not, okay, it's projected. It's not a dull, dumb projection. It's living. You got this? So what makes it living? The word uses this. Moves, but is ajati. Ajati is the commentator Shankara says company. It vibrates. Swami Vivekananda translated vibrates. So after projecting this universe, this whole thing vibrates. Now, as we know, this whole universe is nothing but a vibration. From the lowest quarks to the highest, you can say, material objects are nothing but vibrating atoms. Now we call them strings, and there's something called super strings. It's like the vibrating strings. What's the strings? Vibrations. Really? Oh yeah, we have this in Vedanta. We have this. That's your theory, but we had this vibration long before it. You even dreamt of this. So this whole universe, so space, as it keeps on vibrating, it becomes grosser and grosser, it becomes air. And as air starts vibrating, becomes grosser and grosser, it gives off heat, that becomes fire. And as this fire starts vibrating, fire is, when it condenses a little, you have something like water. And then this water condenses, vibrates and condenses, becomes grosser and becomes the earth. So there is a kind of a sequence to the whole thing. The whole thing is vibration. So why? Because of prana. Now, we'll take the classical interpretations of what is prana. Now, prana is generally translated as, you can say, air. We have air in the body. This is prana. Oh, the prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. Because that's a life force. It's air. Yeah, it's air. It is air here. And the highest manifestation of that prana in the human body is thought. Thought. In the external world, that same prana becomes gravitation, and then gravitation, then strong and the weak nuclear forces, the electromagnetism, etc., etc. Everything in the external world is nothing but prana, vibrating. We give it different names. Vedanta collated all these various vibrations and showed them that it is emerging from one vibration. Keeps on, right? So internally and externally, there is one. In the Upanishads and in the Vedanta literature, it is called the Sutratman. That is the self which ties everything like a thread. I am tied to you, you are tied to him, he is tied to the tree. I mean, not literally. Okay. This whole universe is, as it were, bound, is in a network. The trees and the plants and the birds and insects and animals and everything, whatever is there, they are a vast network of life. And what ties them together? It is this prana, this vayu, this air. That's why the air is called a sutra. Sutra is thread, Atma is the self. That's a great self that binds everything together. Another name of this same thread self, Sutratman, is Hiranyagarbha, the firstborn. So the firstborn emerges, and from that projection, the emerging, all beings arise from this. Okay. So we have whatever is there in this universe is nothing but a vast network that has been projected. Now we'll say prana. Now we say, okay, it is that firstborn or that self that ties everything together. But this thread self, Sutratman, or the Hiranyagarbha, the golden wombed, are nothing but they have emerged from the Supreme Brahman. That is why, by implication, it's saying all this universe that there is emerges and moves because there is a Supreme Brahman. It goes to the final cause, the cause of all causes. Okay? Because you see, what happens is the Vedanta has to show that this universe is not a dull, dark, you can say, place illumined by the sun, of course. But it has to show that it has emerged from consciousness. Why? Because we see consciousness everywhere. If it was in the seed, it's going to be in its products also. So similarly, this whole universe does not, it has to counter other materialistic philosophies. That says, okay, no, it is pradhana, the Sankhya philosophy. Pradhana means the first, the chief. It works independently. It works independently, but it has to be in the proximity of the Purusha, the soul, the Supreme Soul, and nature. There are two ultimate entities in most philosophies. We have God there sitting down in that heaven. You go to that heaven, he's saying, no, it's not. Sorry, you got the wrong address. He's there. You go there and you might not meet him there. What happens? You come to the wrong place, you go out there. And what has happened is, once finally you meet God, oh, Mr. God, you say, what's wrong with you? Oh, what's wrong? Everything is wrong with you on this earth.
Now it is.
It is. It has always been like that. It is. So, now, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
So, there also we have two ultimate realities. One God and one the world. Sorry. Though God has created this, he doesn't seem to have taken too much trouble looking into this kind of things. So what Vedanta does is brings both these things together. God and projection or creation are not different. You want to see God? See it in creation. In projection, this. You don't have to go to heaven. Heaven. Children want to go to heaven, let them go to heaven. Grown-up people do not want to go to heaven. Where is God? Here. Where here? There, inside. Where inside? Go, get down inside and you'll find it. It is, she is hiding herself. So, there it is. So, creation and you can say creator are one. We can't separate these two things. Otherwise, it won't be Advaita. It will be something else. Dvaita, dualism. So Vedanta has always been trying to, the monastic Vedanta has been trying to remove all ideas of differentiation and duality. So this creation is created from the Supreme Brahman. So it has that consciousness everywhere. Now, we see, okay, this is a supreme creation and creator one. We can understand. No. So, so this world, as it were, it appears like a water in a mirage. But why? It's as it were, it's hiding that supreme Brahman. So if you want to search the supreme Brahman, you won't have to go to that heaven or this heaven. You
Who wants
do
to go
it.
to heaven? Eh?
Yeah, we do it here.
I don't want to go to heaven.
Yeah.
I have enough of the world.
Yeah, bon voyage.
Good luck. Bon voyage, yeah.
Yeah, so it is this. So it is showing that this world is a manifestation of that divinity, that Brahman. Otherwise, it can't be. So it's not dull, dead, insentient matter. There's something more to it. Now, it's metaphorically spoken of as, which is like a great terror, like an uplifted thunderbolt. Why? Why should this metaphor be even used? Yeah, like I said, when this whole thing has been projected, it goes into a kind of it's an orderly projection. Let's put it like that. It's a very orderly projection. So you put a eggplant seed in the ground, it's not going to emerge into a tomato plant. It's going to be an eggplant. Later on, you can cross and recross, but there's something to be noted here. Everything is orderly. Everything. Now, to give us an idea that everything moves accordingly to a kind of a plan. Why? Yeah, because there is a kind of an controller. The word Ishvara means Isha, means to control. It controls everything. See, the other gods like fire and water, and they are very powerful gods, okay? Yeah, they also need somebody as a supervisor and as an overseer.
Upanishad.
Yeah. So everything is in a perfect sequence. Nobody steps out of line. Humans, we do step out of the line, but then that also is according to the plan, don't worry.
According to what plan?
The divine plan of ignorance. Yeah. You're running about. But then they've got a ring around through your nose and it's pulling you. So that also is according to plan, don't worry. So this is just to give us an idea. It's not that God is standing there. Don't step out of line, otherwise to hurl that lightning bolt on you, thunderbolt on you, pound. But we have to understand that everybody has got one thing going on. That is fear. Fear of the unknown. What will happen to fear of uncertainty? in the one of the Upanishads, Brihadaranyaka, which I have bought today, he says, Yajnavalkya, the great sage, tells Janaka, the king, you have attained the state of fearlessness. Abhayam vai praptosi Janaka. That state of fearlessness is a state of Brahman, where there is no duality. Okay. So that fearlessness is equated with that. So the rest, Isha, the controller, controls everything. Sees. Otherwise, Sri Ramakrishna says, if a gentleman doesn't have, in the old days, the Babu, doesn't have any money or any property, what kind of a gentleman he is? You know, Babu doesn't have anything. So here, if God doesn't have any kind of control over anything, what kind of God he is? Who's going to listen to him? Will do whatever you want to.
And he does.
Oh yeah, she's self-willed. Mother is self-willed.
Self what?
Self-willed.
Self-will.
So that day she was telling us kind of a small kind of joke. So two friends, they meet after a long time, saying, I heard that you've seen God. Yeah, I've seen God. What's God like? Oh, God. She is female and she's black. So all your concept, what about my conception of God? Sorry. Kali,
Yes.
black, and this is what we have, our own conceptions of God, culturally dictated, or through our own kind of likes and dislikes, and we want God to be like this, nice and sweet, and all poetry and music and song and dance. Yeah, you see this world, that's on the surface. You go down below, there's a kind of a terrible, you can say, fight constantly going on. For life has to survive. It has to struggle against all life. It has to struggle not to get extinguished. It has to eat. It has to proliferate. So just below the surface of song and dance and music and poetry, this world appears very different. It's fraught with uncertainty, it's fear, it's terror. We've been listening, oh God, that's as good as God is good. Otherwise, if God is bad also, if he throws his thunderbolt, that won't do. That God cannot do. He loves you, really. He also spanks you. Oh yeah. Lovingly, no, not lovingly. He will really teach you a lesson. So what we do is, no, that won't kind of harmonize with our ideas of God. So we make a Satan, Lucifer. That guy was responsible for all the mischief in this world, not God. Oh, so you have duality. Here it is, bring both the good and the bad. Our conception of good, bring it one. When you see this world as it is, it's a terrible place. It's a struggle. It's a constant fight. Then you can understand the world will reveal its secret to you. We are sitting down here. Suppose your San Andreas fault suddenly decides to release all that pent up energy that it has been holding. We are going to go for a toss. Or the Cascadian mountains and all that. They say that's even a bigger, you can say, disaster waiting. And it might happen anytime. Then we have fires all over the place. California, the whole West Coast is fire. Everything was going so nice. Suddenly these fires come and they destroy our peace of mind, destroy our home, destroy everything.
Corona.
Yeah, that's what. A coronavirus comes and
And
takes
Trump
everything.
before that.
takes everybody and everything down. See? So this world is always fraught with this kind of struggles, fears, anxieties. Once we know this, then we can understand. It is just to change our perception of this nice rosy world of that we live in, we think. 65 million years ago, a huge comet came and slammed into that Gulf of Mexico. And massive scale, there was a destruction. Well, there, so much for all the dinos that were there. So this world is like this. And who's the control of all this world? That guy there.
Ishvara?
Yes, it's Ishvara. Isha, the one who controls everything. So the metaphor is like a great thunderbolt. Everything is going according to that plan, the divine plan. So if you shout and scream, that's in the divine plan. You shout and scream, but that plan will keep on unfolding. It's being projected like this. So, the God of love, we like the God of love. Krishna will play his flute and everybody will be attracted. We like all this, yeah. Why don't you see the other picture also? When Sri Krishna, he showed Arjuna the cosmic form. In the 11th chapter you find, my God, Arjuna gets terrified. He shows the destructive aspect of that supreme Godhead. I can't stand this. Withdraw that form of yours. I want to see your human form. And that's what actually happened. So we think, God, oh, nice and sweet and so cozy and this and light and love, and we've been deluding ourselves. We're just seeing a part of that kind of picture. This world is meant for the heroic, not meant for babies. Swami Vivekananda says, don't teach your children that God has made the sun and the moon and the stars for you, as if God never had anything to do but create all these things for these babies. So we have a very kind of simplistic conception of God. The moment we see this world, understand this world, we see, oh my God, what this is God. So it is trying to teach us this. Everything has come from the Supreme Brahman. Everything is like a network that ties everything together in an orderly fashion. Okay. The next verse, the third verse, is an extension of this. From fear of him, fire burns. From fear shines the sun. From fear run Indra and air and death the fifth. Bhayadyasya agnistapati bhayatapati surya bhayadendrascha vayuscha mrityurdhavati panchamaha. So, fire and air and sun and this and Indra and death and all, these are gods. These are deities. Fear. These are very powerful gods, yet they are frightened. They run. They go about doing their work meticulously. Why? Oh my God. Like the commentator says, a servant in front of the master will behave accordingly, and do his duties properly. So, when the master goes away, then you see what happens. When the cat is away, the mice are at play, everybody is kind of having a nice time. The moment the cat comes, everybody is scared stiff. So from fear of him, fire burns. From fear shines the sun. From fear run Indra. Indra, even the king of the gods. And air, Vayu, and death, Mrityu. Even death, everybody is frightened of death. But death itself is frightened, working correctly because of that supreme Brahman, that deity. Okay. So this is what actually it is. We have this now, fear. It's like, as long as you are far away from that, it appears terrible. Go closer and closer and closer. Then that fear is converted into that, oh, that's a self and is a part of me. Oh, I'm the part of that self. And so Sri Ramakrishna says, as long as Kali is seen from a distance, she appears black. She is not black when seen close up. It's like seeing water from a distance. Oh, it appears blue or black in color. But you cup that same water in your palm and see there's no color. So things at a distance appear different. Things close up do not appear like it. So when talking about everything is orderly working, then we have something called, why? Because there is a kind of a great terror. This is the great fear, the great terror. And in Swamiji, in one place, he say, he who loves the destruction's dance, who hugs the form of death, to him the mother comes. So Mother Kali, she's constantly in that destructive mode. Who can love her? So he's saying, so Kali is the pain, Kali is the disease, Kali is the pain. Everything is Kali. Wow. Kali is a disease. Yeah, Kali is a pain. Yes. If you can hug the form, or this kind of form of death, then to that person, Mother will reveal herself.
And when she reveals herself, how does she look?
She is black.
When she reveals herself, how does she look?
She's black. And when she comes close by, you'll see what she looks like. She has various forms.
Various forms?
Various forms.
She's terrible to ignorance. Give your ego up. That's the skull.
As long as you hold on to your ego, she's terrible. The moment you give up the ego, think that I am the child of the divine, that divine mother, everything is over for you. You stop being terrified. So this whole universe, with its supernovas and, huge black holes and this and that, exploding stars, and it's a kind of a terrible place.
Yes.
Yeah. We think that this world and this universe is my house, my body, my friends, my this, my that. Yeah. Too bad. It's not that. So that's why he's saying, from fear of him, fire burns. Now there is in the one of the Upanishads called the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad. There is a beautiful, you can say, passage. Gargi was a sage, female sage. Yeah. She was one of the best, you can say, Brahmavadinis, the great debaters on Brahman in the court of the King Janaka. And she asked some really pointed questions to Janaka, to Yagnavalkya. And one of the questions she asked, what is this imperishable you're talking about? The infinite imperishable. So he says, under the mighty rule of this immutable, O Gargi is a sage, the sun and the moon are held in their positions. Under the mighty rule of this immutable, O Gargi, heaven and earth maintain their positions. Under the mighty rule of this immutable, O Gargi, moments, days, nights, fortnights, months, seasons, and years are held in their respective places. Under the mighty rule of this immutable, O Gargi, some rivers flow eastwards from the White Mountains. Others flowing westward continue in that direction, and still others keep their respective courses. Under the mighty rule of this immutable, O Gargi, people praise those that give, charitable. The gods depend on the sacrificer, and the manis on the, are dependent on the offerings. So you have this immutable, this great kind of being that is there, saying, well, she says, later on, she acknowledged, revered Brahmanas, if you consider yourself fortunate, if you can get off from Yajnavalkya through salutations, never shall there be another sage, knower of Brahman like him. So later on, he tells Gargi, he who does not know this immutable, this imperishable, and leaves this body, that person is a miserable one indeed. But one who knows this imperishable, immutable, and leaves the body, he is a knower of Brahman. But he, O Gargi, who departs from this world after knowing this immutable, is a knower of Brahman. So once you've conquered your fear, you have conquered the God who appears like a kind of a terror. You have conquered creation, projection. You have gone to the very heart of, like that spider which projects its web out from itself. You have touched that spider. And then you'll know you have become the knower of that Brahman, that reality. So this is how it is being explained. What is this great kind of time and space and causation all held in perfect balance, each one performing its own, you can say, duties, its work. And this is that imperishable. So why should it be like this? Why shouldn't it be all love and all nice and sweetness and all? Yeah. Nice people around, you see nice people, you scratch that person and you see the devil coming out. Don't get fooled by appearances. That's what this whole thing is. Don't get fooled by appearances. And you find that this God also that you have projected regarding, nice. You scratch that conception of God, then you'll find, oh, what's this? I never believed it could be like this. Yeah, now you know. Now you know better. This is, never let the surface of things deceive you. Deep down, there is another reality, another order of reality that is appearing like this. So go down, plunge, conquer your fears, conquer the terrible, conquer the delusion, and you will attain that fearlessness. So from fear of him, Agni burn, Agni. That is where. From fear shines the sun. From fear run Indra and air, the Vayu, and death, Mrityu. So this verse is repeated in some other Vedantic literature also, because it's kind of, it's so, you can say, beautiful, popular. So here we have this idea that it's a great terror. The next one, the fourth, 334. If one succeeds in realizing year before the falling of the body, one becomes freed. Else, because of that failure, one becomes fit for embodiment in the world of creatures. There it is. Iha chedashakadbodhum praksharirasya vishrasa tata sargeshu lokeshu Sharirattvaya kalpate. Yeah, there it is. Now, what if we don't realize that this reality? What if we don't know that? Well, you get another chance. Another chance, yeah. And then if you don't know in the second chance, you get a third chance. You keep on getting chance. You keep on getting embodiment over and over and over again till you break that chain. You understand, oh, this is the secret of this universe. This is the secret of life. That's why he says, if one succeeds in realizing here, before the fall of the body, it's not a post-mortem state. Here, it's not, oh, after I pass away, I will go to that heaven. Somebody with white clothes will come and take me down and speak some nice words and take me down a long tunnel of light and take me somewhere. Somebody says, it appeared like Shiva. Somebody will say, no, it wasn't Shiva, it was Krishna. Somebody will say, no, it was Christ. Somebody will say, it was Buddha. Somebody will say, it looked like Muhammad. It was Muhammad. Somebody will say, no, it was Moses, I'm sure. Now, yeah. So, you see, it depends on your cultural upbringing. What you have believed that to be, that will come to pass.
Isn't that also the realization of the truth at the moment of death, before you cross over?
Oh yes, that is different.
That is different.
That is different. At the moment, and in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, we find him appearing to devotees after he passed away, of course, in the Ramakrishna literature, appearing to devotees at the time of death. Even the most kind of useless guys, Hazra and even Rasik Mehtar, the one who used to clean the place, you know.
Yeah. Razik,
Yeah, Rasik.
he promised.
Sri Ramakrishna promised, I'll come down, I'll come
He
before.
will do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did say.
Swami Vivekananda is saying, no, you must do something for this Hazra. This kind of a, he was a kind of a, like we have in the old days, we have this like the court gestures, no? He was one of that, enlivening things up. So, no, you do something for him, Swami Vivekananda. No, nothing can be done for him. No, you please, you must do something. And then, okay, at the time of death, I'll come. And that's what happened. He kept it. So we have heard, we have seen so many devotees also. Forget the monks, devotees who at the moment of death, just before they pass away, they see the form of Ramakrishna or Holy Mother or something.
I heard Vivekananda before he passed away, he cried little. I read rather, not heard.
See, you must understand, he had you can say, the boon to die at will. In the literature, we find only another great, you can say, sage warrior, Bhishma. He was the grandfather or the grandsire of all these warring two tribes. Even he had the capacity to give up the body at will. Swami Vivekananda also had this. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of. So Sri Ramakrishna also, the moment he knows who he is, he won't stay for a moment here. And that's what actually happened. So he gives up his body. And we have seen other monks also. They kind of hold their death for a while. Okay, wait. And then they give up the body. When everyone is okay, they have come and you have come, okay, fine, see you, okay, bye-bye. See you.
Swami did that.
Yeah.
He used to ask.
Yeah.
Sai Baba.
So this is here the Upanishad says, if one succeeds in realizing here before the falling of the body, one becomes freed. Else, because of that failure, one becomes fit for embodiment in the world of creatures. And this Upanishad has discussed how this person, if that person now has to get re-embodied, that person will have to take along that person's knowledge and that person's work. Yata karma, yata shrutam. All whatever karma that person has done and whatever knowledge that person has acquired, they leave together with that person. They clothe him, as it were, and goes to another place and unfolds that. So that's a kind of a reincarnation. So this is very clear that if you don't, if people want to get reincarnated, I don't mind coming back. Really, don't? You have not had enough of life. Good for you. Keep on. And later on you'll find, no, I have it enough. Yeah. Yes, why can't people understand this? And moreover, we are committing those same mistakes over and over and over and over again. That is... Yeah. So why come and commit those same old mistakes that we've been doing? Get up. Break that habit. That's what this is. Break that habit. Okay. Sharirattvaya kalpate, it becomes fit. One becomes fit, kalpate, becomes fit for re-embodiment. If you do not realize this truth here. What is this truth they're talking about? That the root of this projection, this world, is that Supreme Brahman. Everything has emerged from that. Everything is emerged in a sequential, I can say, order. Everything is runs perfectly well. People say, oh, this world is a terrible place. Yeah. Nothing is right. Yeah, for you. And everybody thinks, oh, this world has gone to the dogs. Yeah. Nothing seems to work properly. Yeah. Actually, there is a kind of a entity that looks after everything. Because when I do something, I'm going to get its results, not you. So there's someone who's kind of distributing the results of work accordingly. If this is not there, then the whole thing would run into chaos. Nobody would do anything good because I'm not going to get anything out of doing this. Why? And if you do something, your results come to me. If I do something, my results go to you. There will be chaos. Everything will collapse. This world will collapse. Everything is done in such a perfect, omniscient way. Whatever I have thought privately, with nobody knows, that entity knows. So there is a kind of a witness to all activities inside. There's a witness of all activities. So this person, this entity, not person, who looks after everything is also a great thunder, or the thunderbolt, lightning bolt. It's a great terror. That person, that Supreme Person, is immanent in this universe, knows everything. If when you know that Supreme Person, one becomes free from everything. Okay? We'll stop here.
I think
Yeah.
in the Gita it says of Krishna that we start, if we do reincarnate, we start where we stopped off in the last.
Yeah, of course.
Last
Yeah, of course.
In other words, if you have made progress, let's say spiritual, then
Oh,
you
yes.
continue.
You will continue from there.
Mhm.
You don't have to start again from
Scratch.
scratch. That will be kind of ridiculous.
Unfair. What are sometimes
Okay, just a moment. These guys haven't come here. So this is still live. Well,
somebody's phone?
yeah, let it.
Oh,
They're failing their duty. They should have been.
So what do we do for this? Share. Yeah.